What up folks, Tim here, back for video number 2. Alright, so today we're actually going to go to press and actually print some stuff. But first, we got a few things to take care of. Alright, so this is a screen. This isn't the screen that we burned in the previous video, but it is a screen that we need to do some work with. It's actually got more than one, as you can obviously see. It's got more than one thing on it. So I'm going to show you what we'll do about that. The screen is going to rest right there. It comes down to here. We're going to put these images where we want them. Well, where we want the first one that we're going to print. And we're actually, let me show you something here. This pallet's in a different spot. It's closer to the edge there. So we're actually going to print this Momentum Fitness logo. That's going to be the first thing that I print today. And it actually is going to go, this is typically where you would put your image if you were printing like the front left chest of the shirt. So like if you were printing it so that it was on here like a logo on the front left chest of the garment, that's where you would want it to be. For this logo, we're actually putting it on the right side of the garment. So I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. I'm just going to move this whole screen over like this so that it's going to end up on the right side. And I don't know exactly where it needs to be yet because it has to be in relation to some other parts on the garment. And then we're actually going to tape it off and block off all those parts that we don't need. We always do run a bead tape around the edge like that to keep, because this part of the screen here, where there's no red, that is still open screen. And we don't want ink to get through there because it might get on the garment. Plus it just makes a mess on the back side of our screen. All right, so we got the screen taped off and ready to go to print. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Remember I said we're going to print this first. So we taped off all the other stuff. You can see all these are covered up. Now one of the things that I personally like to do is you can see I didn't just tape off where the logo stops to right there. I always add a little extra tape here as well, and I kind of folded it over the top of the screen, and that's so when I go to pull this off, I can pull it from here. It'll be a nice clean spot that doesn't have any ink on it. Because all this tape right here, and all this tape right here, all this right here is going to end up with ink on it while I print these. And so that way, once I get to that point, I can just pull that tape off from over here where it's still clean and I don't get tape or ink all over myself and transfer that to garments. So basically, my logo is going to end up right about there now, which is perfect. It's across from the Reebok logo. It's not huge. I didn't want to make this a huge logo because then it looks kind of out of place. I wanted to make it a similar size to that. I made it actually a little bit bigger than that though, just so it actually does show up. I did the smaller version and it wasn't going to show up good enough, so I actually did a second one. And then on here, you can see all these little dots. This is actually block out as well, similar to the pink block out, except it comes in a pin like this. So you just pump it up, take the cap off. You can cover up any little pinholes. There was something on my glass in my exposure unit when I exposed the screen that caused those holes to show up, so I went ahead and blocked those out so that they don't get ink on the garment. The really important things, especially in a scenario like this where we're going to have to do multiple coats of that white ink, most likely to get it to cover right, is you don't want that garment to move once it's on that palette. And so we have this spray adhesive. We also use a different kind of adhesive. I have that here. It's like a liquid. It's like a really thinned down glue, basically, so that you can put it on the palette. You just smear it around on the palette with a tool, and then once it gets under the heat, which is what this is, I'll show you that in a second. Once it gets under the heat, it kind of sets up and creates a sticky surface. But for what we're doing here, we're just gonna use the spray. And so that looks like this. Because I'm not doing this whole, I'm not printing the whole thing. I'm only printing something that's gonna land right about there. I'm just gonna spray the spray right on that spot, because that's really the only spot that I need to stick. The rest of it doesn't really have to stick or anything. So we'll do that. And then this is the heat lamp, a flash dryer. It's really hot under there. And so, yeah, so we'll put the garment on. We'll put one coat on there of the white ink. We'll spin it underneath that flash dryer. That'll flash cure that ink real fast. Pull it back. That way we can do a second coat and make that brighter, a little more vibrant. And we'll keep doing that until it looks like what we want it to look like. And then we'll run it through the belt dryer, which is this big old gizmo right here. It's basically a giant pizza oven. We'll run it through there, and that actually cures that top layer of ink, cures it all and sets it so that it doesn't wash out when we wash the shirt, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a shirt on the palette and show you guys what it's gonna look like after we run some ink on it. So we've got our jacket on here, our pullover. We've got it pressed down tight to the palette. It's not gonna move. So we're gonna pull this down. If you look back here, you can see there's a notch. There's a block here that fits into a notch here. So we always wanna make sure that that's the case. And now this doesn't move. This is all secure here now. So what we'll do now is we put some ink on. Pull the ink back. It's called the flood coat. That basically fills up all the holes. And then we push it back through. And that pushes the ink through and onto the garment. When we lift this up, now we have the ink on there. And actually, we might not even need the second coat. We did have some spots here you can see that I missed. That sometimes that'll happen. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come up here and I'm just gonna tape off all this around this image so that we don't have that happen again. I didn't catch them on the first pass, but sometimes that happens. So we're just gonna fix it and we'll move on. Yeah, so we got the coat on there and there were some dots, and so that came through where there were holes in the screen or in the emulsion. And so I went ahead and I taped off all around that. So I'll show you what that looks like. So here you can see, because of these dots, there's one there, one there, one there, one there, and that's what this green stuff was supposed to combat, but I missed those. And sometimes that happens. And so what I've done is just I've taped off all around my image. So now there won't be anything coming through because it'll just land on the tape and we can go ahead and get the printing. So we'll go ahead and put the second coat on this one. We'll make sure our notch lines up and flood, press, boom. And now you can see that image is a little bit brighter than it was before, and that's what we want. That's what we want it to look like. So we're gonna go ahead and run this through the belt dryer. Let's look and see what we got. This is our finished garment. All right, we got one finished. That's what it looks like when it comes out. It's all done. Finished up there. Came out nice, and we got the positioning good, so we're gonna go ahead and knock out the rest of them.